빠른 동작으로 순식간에 급소를 공격하여 일격에 상대를 제압하는 진정한 실전 격투술, 바로 크라브마가입니다. 화면에 나오는 장면들은 단순히 연출된 장면들이 아니라 실제로 군대, 경찰, 특수부대에서 쓰는 실제 격투술을 기반으로 만들어진 액션씬이며, 이것이 바로 이스라엘 군대를 위해 개발된 실전 격투술인 크라브마가입니다. 크라브마가는 격투 스포츠 혹은 취미로 배우는 무술이 아닙니다. 심판도 라운드도 없습니다. 규칙은 딱 하나, 바로 최대한 빠르고 효율적으로 상대를 무력화시키는 것, 그것이 전부이죠. 상대가 맨손이든 칼을 들었든 심지어 총을 겨누고 있어도 살아남는 게 최우선. 그래서 크라브마가는 경기보다 실제 위협 상황에서 살아남기 위한 기술에 집중하는데요. 이런 실전성을 인정받아 세계 각국의 특수부대와 경찰은 물론 자기 방어를 배우려는 일반인들 사이에서도 인기가 높아지고 있습니다. 특히 요즘엔 험한 세상을 대비해 여성들도 많이 배우고 있는데요. 그렇다면 크라브마가를 제대로 배우면 얼마나 효과적일까요? 오늘은 크라브마가의 창시자에게 직접 수련받고 현재는 크라브마가 글로벌의 창립자이자 총괄 사범으로 활약 중인 야닐로프 선생님에게 직접 물어봤습니다. Alright, so now we're here with the chief instructor of Krafmaga Global, Mr. Yanilov. Welcome to our show. Thanks for making the time.
Likewise, glad to be with you here.
You just recently visited Korea. What was that like?
It was great. So people are wonderful. The view is good. It was a bit cold, but what do you want more than people and food? So company and food, yes.
Most of our viewers are not really familiar with Krav Maga, to be honest with you. Most of us have seen clips of Krav Maga from like instructors disarming people with guns, for example, or in like action movies. How well do you think of an interpretation of Krav Maga this is?
Commonly, it's rather lousy. Well, so the Krav Maga is an integrated system. So everything is connected with everything. And we have self-defense, third-party protection, fighting tactics and skills. And what we do is try, obviously, to prevent, avoid, de-escalate confrontations. If we cannot, we will do the maximum within the minimum, meaning we have to obey the law. We don't want to be in jail either. And most of the time, what people are showing as a Krav Maga, it's very destructive techniques, which we definitely have. But on the other hand, they don't show the very minor ones that are maybe a little bit boring, less catchy, less sexy in the videos, in that sense of violence and working like the stuntman of Chuck Norris. So definitely we have a very wide system that's supposed to deal with all type of problems in all types of situations. And usually this is not portrayed. Another thing that we have is fake people, that because Krav Maga has a good name, most of the time, then people are trying to ride the wave. Krav Maga as a system is usually not clear.
Right. Could you please elaborate on that? Because some people believe that Krav Maga is similar to mixed martial arts in a way that that you utilize some great techniques from certain martial arts and mix them together and apply it to your core values and principles, if you will. Would that be the correct understanding?
I would say no. Look, if you take the head of a pigeon, the body of a lion, tail of a snake, one wing of a eagle and another wing of a duck, you will come up with a monster that cannot really survive well. So Krav Maga is not like this. Of course, you can see similarity. So we will strike more like boxers, but we are not boxers. The boxers are much better than us with boxing, obviously. All they do is boxing. And we have to deal with knives and ground and chairs and sticks and threats of a hand grenade, whatever. The idea is that we have specific way. And yes, we have things that are similar. We will not do so much of this type of defenses. We'll try to do much more of this type of defenses because the assumption is that there's a blade in the hand of the aggressor. Usually not kick so high, let's say. Although if it's possible, we will. Rather strong. We don't kick for points. We do have even spinning kicks, but the spin kick is because the aggressor moved in that direction, give a spinning kick because it's the best way to do in that motion. So of course, as I said, there are things that are similar. So you can see similarities. When you look at martial arts, they have different history and different ways of moving. For example, boxing was once like this. Now it's like this. There are reasons for this. Or karate that was taught from the Okinawans to the Japanese, and from the Japanese and Okinawans to the Americans and the Allies, they were teaching them like teaching the enemy. So imagine somebody conquers Korea and they want to learn your Tang Soo Do or Taekwondo. What would you teach them? You will teach them because they are the enemy. You'll teach them like teaching the enemies. You'll put them in this stance and you'll do these motions, that type of, and look at the groin and look at, which you cannot see in this video, and look at the head. Everything is exposed. With Krav Maga, it is definitely not that way. And we definitely have specifics. So teaching kids and teaching women and things like this, and teaching special forces also. It came from the military originally. So there's no bullshit. I mean, we cannot teach something not effective to the audience, because then we betray our mission. And the mission is dealing with violence, saving lives, changing lives. That's the mission.
Now, speaking of which, I think you've raised a very good point, because to my understanding, recently, more Krav Maga schools around the world have been adapting more grappling skills. What are your thoughts on that?
Our founder was a wrestler and a boxer and gymnastics also. But his life experience was from street fighting for about 4 years, every day, fighting fascists in his hometown in Bratislava. We did close to zero grappling. Now, why do we need grappling in Krav Maga? There is some, okay? And there are two reasons for this. One, if we need to control a person, so the law enforcement and security line. On the other hand, imagine your drunk friend is becoming a bit violent. What would you do? Break his head. So of course we have some sort of control techniques and some sort of lead grappling. Another problem is to deal with the grappler, because 20 years ago in the streets of US and maybe Greece, there was some grappling. Most of the places there were no grappling. Maybe in Japan also because of the judo. So, but there was no professional grapplers, okay? But now kids see UFC in the television, and they learn just by looking. So of course we need to deal with the grapplers and to do it in the best way possible, meaning not to grapple with the grappler. I don't want to box with a boxer. I don't want to grapple with the grappler. So what should I do? Is I will do whatever is needed with objects, with a chair, with a bottle, with a punch, with a kick. And if we are on the ground, my main thing is not to stay on the ground, because the friend of the person with me on the ground will be coming quickly and kicking my head. I've got maybe 1 or 2 seconds until something like this happens. Or the person will draw a knife from the pocket and stab me, or a pen from the pocket and puncture my eye. So of course, I will not try to grapple a grappler. So we are not having grappling as much of a part of the system, but we do need to know some level of grappling in order to deal with the grapplers.
That sounds like a very important but complicated job. Many people, like you said, value the realness of martial arts, and they're always curious about which one is more stronger, which one's more useful. At the same time, for commercial success, the sports or martial arts always look for opening more gyms, dojos, or even competitions. Now, it seems like there might be a bit of a clash of interest, if you will, or a bit of a balancing issue. Would you say that's an issue or a problem that you face?
I would say a bit yes. I'll tell you what we do. We look at the profession as number one and the business as number two. The truth is business is number three, because we look at the profession first, the organization and friendship as second, and the business is the third one. We need to have the business, because if not, we do not have the budget to teach and to spread and all this. And we do want to spread, and we do want to have rather large audiences. And we would like to have 20, 30 people in the classroom with an instructor, an assistant, or something like this.
Since Krav Maga is heavily focused on real life situation, some people may find it a little bit intimidating to go and learn the skills.
Okay, so first of all, you need to find a real Krav Maga. That's first of all. And then you need to see if you connect with the people, with the instructors, with the trainees. You need to see the mood in the place. Does it suit you? Now, to make it clear, we start from the basics of how to punch and kick, how to defend a strike, how to release from a choke. What happens if you fell to the ground? If somebody is trying to punch you, to kick you, or to choke you? These are the basics. In the first level, we do have some push fighting. We want the mentality of a fighter. We want to develop the mentality of the predator. But we don't expect the beginner to be at a high level. No, it's gradually going through. Let's take swimming. How do you start swimming? You start learning. You start in a shallow ground. It's the same with us. How do you start driving? Okay. Do you go on a highway at high speed and inside the very fast traffic and inside the city? No, you start in small streets with very relaxed and with the person who is teaching you how to do the stuff. We are the same thing.
Not just myself, but our viewers as well. I'm pretty sure we've learned so much about Krafmaga and the principles around it today. So thank you so much for your time.
All the best. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye bye.